don't realize that people have personalities, emotions, and so for me, sometimes they don't see the problem, or they don't see what really is happening. They just see the surface part, like, oh, she's just too loud, or they're just so naughty, these young academy kids. And so that's why I still stick it through with the youth, because I know their backstory and I know exactly why the whole thing is happening, and so I just try and be understanding.
Welcome everyone to the We Are Ōtara Podcast. Today we are back with an amazing guest. Met them 3 to 2 years ago. My brain's a bit flaky, but only the perfect guest and just amazing person to work with. Please introduce yourself to our beautiful viewers out there, to yourself.
Oh my gosh, what an intro. Well, firstly, talofa lava, malo soifua. My name is Shir'le, and also known as QS. And it's such an honor to be here with Vinny. Me and Vinny, we go way back, and it's just really nice to just be back in the beautiful space here, exhilarating Aotearoa. Thank you so much for the space and for holding space for our young people, our community, and for people like myself who are just roaming around the neighborhood.
Nah, man, legitimately thank you for coming, because we have so much guests that have come through to these microphones, and there are so many that have come through. I know that you're one of the very few, next to Sully, who has gotten 2 episodes onto the YouTube channel. So you are just beyond interesting and just beautiful in every other way. So let's get into this interview. I'm already gassed out because of just thinking about this interview. So please, with our conversations combined, what is the difference that you've seen so far from 3 years ago, from you starting up to where you are now, in terms of building that foundation of your amazing podcast classes that I've seen in social media? What got you from there to here today?
Thank you for the question. I think 3 years ago, gosh, I didn't even realize until you told me that was the last time that I was here talking to Talanu, and being interviewed by her. It was beautiful. So let me think back 3 years ago. I think when you love something, for me, when I got into this whole education thing, it was because of my own passion, obviously, starting my own episodes and stuff like that. It was fun. And me, I get bored easily. So I like to I like doing things that keep me happy, that are fun, and just just exciting. And so for me, I think once the kids started to grasp the knowledge behind setting up the equipment, telling their stories, the gossip and the tea that they get to spill, I think that's the exciting part, is just the storytelling. I have a good time listening to all the episodes. I go home and I listen to them, I can't put this on Spotify. But it's so cool because the kids, they get to express themselves, and they love, and I just love seeing the growth. And also just them, finding that confidence to speak. And it's such a big thing to some people. Now there's so many people that are doing podcasting, and it's amazing. But just to see the kids come out really, really shy, and then next minute after 3-4 weeks, man, they just can't stop chatting, and they've just got episodes and topics to talk about. And now, and it's, they know how to set up the equipment, and I love it. I think for me, it's just a process. And when you love something, you don't even realize what it is or what's happening, because you're just so immersed in what you do that you just love it. When they say, there's a saying where I hear people say, if you don't like your job, you got to leave and go find something that you love doing. And for me, that's all I've been doing. It's just I've kind of left a lot of things just to focus on things that make me feel good, and I love it. And I think that's the key here, is you got to enjoy what you do. And so I enjoy it so much that 3 years later, we're still doing it, and it's just growing. And I think those collaborations and the connection, and also seeing the results, it's fun. Love doing what I do, but it's also seeing the transformational changes in the kids and the youth. And also a lot of them are a lot of them have changed, and some of them even have evolved. There's one young person well, she's not young anymore, but there was one who's been with us for like 3 years, 3 or 4 maybe. And she started off in our music program. She was and then podcasting, and now she's at radio school. You know, and it's just amazing because she never thought, probably for 3 years ago, she never imagined herself being this chatterbox or even like talking or doing radio, and now she's just loving it. And she's been to nearly every radio station in Auckland, and she's just evolving and growing. And so seeing that kind of transformation makes me want to keep going, because I just want to, you know, I believe that our kids, especially here in South and out West as well, you know, seeing them coming from the struggles, you know, we grew up in a neighborhood where, you know, it's like a low economic, socio-economic area. So, you know, there's this, you know, the stereotypes of South Auckland being this and that. And to me, it's like, nah, you know, our environment does not define who we are. We are so educated. We have a lot of talent, and I love to just provide the opportunity for the young people. You know, that's all it is. I'm just providing a service and opportunities for them, and just sharing the knowledge so that they could evolve, because they already got the talents. You know, our South Auckland kids, I mean, a lot of us, we grew up with the talent, so these kids already got the talent. So for us, it's just enhancing that talent so that they could go a bit further than what we did when we grew up. We didn't have those. So yeah, so I was saying, you know, yeah, our young people, you know, they're naturally gifted and they've got the talent. And for us as educators, we're just there to enhance those talents and just bring it out even more. And I think that's where we come in. And, you know, I didn't even know what my gift was until I started getting into this youth work. And I started to realize that my purpose was really to help people in the creative arts, because that's what I love.
No, absolutely. And just hearing about your passion of just not only talking about the arts part of thing or the podcast thing, it plays back to what we originally had talked about, which was you loving to help people to get up from certain situations. And you did mention those stereotypes, those ugly stereotypes that often the media, our main media, even though they shouldn't put them out there, and it doesn't belong in our nation, those sort of stereotypes. But when you have people like yourself, and when you have people like Will Fleming, who's, by the way,
shout outs to Will.
Shout outs to Will.
Last couple of years, talking to elderly people, especially here in South Bay, like, and that's a beautiful thing. Shout out to the bro, like, he's got so much talent, and you know, we need to utilize him hard.
And yourself, girl, like, legitimately, I've been looking at the. Correct me if it's wrong. Queen Shir'le Academy, is that right?
Yeah. And our podcast has been called Youth in the Booth,
Wee.
And we've done like a play in the last year. We did a play on youth called Youth in the Booth, and it was based on real life experience, like real life, you know, situations.
Wow.
Yeah, so I took the kids' stories from what I heard on the podcast, and I turned it into a play.
Wow.
And it was really beautiful, bro. Like, it was so good.
Yeah.
Like, the kids, like, everyone loved it. We did that Teodoro out in GI, and it was just really good to see it come to life. Yeah, so that was one experience. And then the other one was, just doing Youth in the Booth, and we've got like 70. I was saying, I think I exaggerated a bit. I think 69 episodes, but by the end of this week, there should be around 70 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
From kids in South Auckland, East Auckland, as well as West Auckland now. So we just opened up a West Auckland podcast program, which just finished like this last week. Shout outs to Pacifica Success, which is a branch of Auckland Council Libraries. And they're the guys that back any community Pacifica initiative. So they've been really, really interested in what I've been doing as well. So shout outs to Mac as well, who really pushed for this. And so they sponsored it. And yeah, so we were able to get out to Avondale Library this year, and the kids were loving it. Like, they are so, so good, eh? Like, the kids out there. Yeah, but what I'm finding is that it doesn't matter what area. All the kids are the same. Like, the situations are the same. The drama, the tea, the story. I'm like, yo, there's no difference, man. That's what I'm seeing, and I'm just like, wow. I'm at South on Monday, so my schedule was like Tuesday I'm in Ōtara, Tupu Library, and then Wednesday I'm out west, Avondale Library, and then Thursday I'm here in Mangere East Library, and then Friday I'm here at OMAC. So that was my schedule, and I was just like, man, what I was seeing is that, man, just different areas, but the energy is the same. The personalities are the same. The drama, the stories, the tea. I'm saying, man, there's no difference. That's why I just love it, eh? Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That is legitimately cool. Shout out to Auckland Libraries.
Yeah.
I volunteered as a librarian for like nearly 6 years.
Wow.
Working up at Tupu Library because you went my home grounds.
Tupu Library, man. Shout outs to the Maisie and the crew there. They are amazing. They are the best. I think Tupu Library is my favorite. Favorite.
It's legitimately my home. So So I'm not too far from. I'm about like a block away from it.
Yeah.
So
I know you are because I dropped you once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we whānau.
we good. So I love how you're connecting with Auckland Libraries, and please, you legitimately out in public, utilize your libraries.
You know what? When I first got into performing arts in the community, my first ever program was at the Mangere East Library at Otahuhu Library. This was like nearly 10 years ago. That's when I first sort of just left Te Wānanga o Aotearoa because I was teaching there, and then I went off and started my own thing, and I wanted to expand. I wanted to go here because, in those sort of corporate, settings, it's like, you're limited with certain kids, youth in that. But when I started to branch out, I wanted to work in the libraries because I was a librarian too at one time.
Way!
I did Mangere Town Centre Library. I started off as a volunteer as well. And then they wanted to hire me. Sonia was like, you got to do this. You got to do she goes, you got to do your bachelor's in library. I said, what? I said, I don't know if I'm that passionate. I said, I love reading books, but goddamn, I'm not a bachelor. I was like, what? Like shelving or? I was like, Moses, I didn't know you get a bachelor's in shelving books.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So you got to be like, precise.
I know, right? It's like, what is this? 961 ACB.
Oh, man, my favorite was romance. I used to love putting those books away because I'll be standing there like reading all the romance, and then they're like, hey, Shirley, you still got a whole trolley to put away. I'm like, I'm on chapter 2 on this one. Shh, leave me alone.
I was like that with manga. So I would have a trolley. I'm supposed to stack shelves.
Yeah.
And I had a person by the name of, shout outs to Owen. Owen looks at me. I'm just sitting there with like all the returns, and he's like, "It's only 10 minutes. You're supposed to be shopping, folks." I'm like, hey, listen, this is like $30 a pop. I'm reading this for free.
Right?
Yeah. So
I'm at the good part. I'm at the best part of this book, man. Shh.
Yeah, exactly.
I loved it. I actually really enjoyed it. And you know what? To the point, I loved it so much. I know my friends used to walk and my family used to walk, and they had to wipe their eyes because me, I was like, this thug from the hood. And so for them to see me in the library, they had to wipe their eyes to see if it was really me. I'm telling you, my family was shocked.
Hey, my auntie, I'm reading.
My auntie was shocked as how she had to come in and check if it was really me that was in the library.
Oh.
I said, yes, auntie, it's me. I said, I know. Long story. But I'm here.
No.
But you know what's crazy is that I ended up joining the South Auckland's Writers Group, which was based in Papakura Library.
Wait.
Yeah, and they had this group of authors that used to turn up every month and just learn how to become authors and stuff. So I joined, and I was like, cool, okay, I want to learn how to become an author. And then they told me to, because it was mostly Palangis, and they were like, they loved our stories, and they used to say to me, every time I told my story, they would be like, I can just see that story in the book. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, really? And then one day they asked me to enter this competition. It was a book. It was it was a Manukau Council collection book. Wow. And it was a project, a one-off project. And there was 50 people that entered. And I remember sitting next to Ali Cowley. You know him? I mean, come on. Brotown. He was the director of Brotown. the cartoon. And so he's an amazing illustrator. Anyway, long story short, I entered this competition. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing up against all these authors? And then they got down to the top 30 and then the top 10. And I was just like, when they called my name out, I was like, ah! I was so like shocked. I couldn't even believe it. But I was really grateful that I did, because that story that I did publish in that book was a story about migrating from Samoa.
Wow.
So, yeah, not many people knew that I was born in Samoa. Most people think I'm Māori, and I'm like, yo, kia ora, bro. I was like, yeah, it's okay. I used to say, yeah, I'm Māori. But, I say Papa Tuanuku adopted me. So, yeah, I would say. But, so that book is called Translucent, and it's in a library, in the Manukau library. But you can order it at any library. So I used to order it from Mangere. I used to order it in, even though excuse me, I've got a copy as well, but and then we would sell the book, and we had the book launch, and so for me to see that happening, I just thought, man, I'm done my whole library journey. I think it's time for me to evolve. And so from there, I was able to, there was a little community room in the Mangere Town Centre Library, and so I got into this whole health journey, and I got into Herbalife, and I started my own like Herbalife business. And so I used to weigh people in there. So I used to do the weight loss thing in there. And so I'll go around the library, and instead of shelving there, I'm like going around telling people about, the Herbalife. And I used to tell people about their water, how much water they're drinking, and just like, just looking after our people. And so that's where I was. I ended up in there. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then it was so cool though. It was really awesome just to know that, because I was having problems with my health, even though, it wasn't even like a physical thing. I just felt like I could feel like the food that I was eating. I was just like, man, it was making me sick and stuff. So that's what made me change. And then and so from there I evolved. And then I was like, And then they said to me, do you want to come and do a songwriting workshop one day? One of the girls there, Nia, she goes, come and do one for the girls. So that's when I was like, oh, okay. So I started doing these little workshops in the library for them. And then because of the impact that, the community loved it, they wanted me to keep going. And then Sonia was like, you should come and do this. So, and then from there, I was like, you know what? I think I can do this. So that evolved into performing arts, pathways to performing arts. So our first ever pathways to performing arts started at Mangere Town Centre Library. And we did a big showcase outside where the kids got to perform in front of their families and stuff. And then it went to Otahu Library. And then we got funding after that. So after that, Mangere Otahu local board started, supporting us, and big shout outs to them. And also the Ōtara Papatoetoe local board, had us as well. OMAC, and so it's all about maintaining. So for me, it's about just staying consistent and maintaining something that works. You don't have to try and be this amazing person. To me, it's just about seeing the results and being able to, capitalize on that and just see how you can help these kids evolve from there. So that's what it was. It was just a little idea, enhance their talent and help them. Hopefully, they could pathway them into further education. A lot of them have gone back to school, those that weren't at school, and then for the rest it's like, career pathways. Now they want to work in broadcasting, which is something that probably didn't even think about. And so that's what we want to give them. We want to give them alternative options other than the usuals. So yeah.
Damn.
From being a shelver to...
Yeah, no.
I know, what a story.
It's awesome, because it not only just displays resilience from your half, but just being able to adapt to different changes. Like I was already thinking, like, you're already a good story writer. Instantly going into performing arts is a really good way for you to express further what you're writing down on your pages into performing arts, and that's through music and whatnot. And just knowing that you are now sharing that experience out to those who want to voice their themselves out and go, hey, I got talent too. I can be able to do these certain things, and it's incredible to watch and just to hear from you, and just know that experience is being taught by many, many kids out there who need it the most.
Yeah, man, there's so many kids. Like I can't even count anymore. It's like thousands of kids. And it's just crazy because now they're all growing, you know, I still see some around. They're like, it's just beautiful. Some of them have really, you know, made it and gone overseas, and, you know, some have started families and they come back with their kids. And, you know, we've got some young ones they've just given birth to. And it's like, man, we don't judge, man. Like I always say, the Academy is a whānau, safe space for our young people. They know they will always have a space with us. So that's my main thing, is that, yeah, I know there's a lot of drama and stuff that happens when you're working with young people, and there's a lot of organizations that I have worked with, spaces, community spaces, who didn't know how to deal with that. And so they just look at the kids like they're naughty, they're too loud, da-da-da-da, so they kind of tend to shut us out. But to me, it's like, man, until you actually work with young people, and it's not about having the brand like, oh, you got to, I've got a youth mentoring certificate, whatever. It's about real people.
Yeah.
You know, people don't realize that people have personalities, emotions. And so for me, sometimes they don't see the problem, or they don't see what really is happening. They just see the surface part, like, oh, she's just too loud, or they're just so naughty, these young Academy kids. And so that's why I still stick it through with the youth, because I know their backstory and I know exactly why that whole thing is happening. And so I just try and be understanding. And so my thing about the Academy is we try and be understanding. We try and give everyone a chance, even when they muck up. And that the great thing is that I'm very forgiving, and I just see potential in everybody. Because I was that kid, and no one, when I played up, man, they gave up on me straight away. And so I know what their feeling is, because after people gave up on me, I wanted to go and commit suicide, you know, sad as it sounds, but that's what I wanted to do when I was a youngster. I wanted to leave this earth. I didn't want to be around anymore. And so I can imagine what these young people are going through, especially of today, very vulnerable. You know, back in our day, we were always out and about, but now kids are like indoor introverts. They don't really talk to people, but they've got thousands of friends online, but they just, you know, they're struggling to do the whole face-to-face thing. And so for me, it's just us being there, trying to be there for them, and trying to be understanding, and knowing that once upon a time we were also those kids. So it's about us unpacking our own journey and our own our own problems, that what we've been through, so that we could help help those. And you know, I know this is what therapists do, that's what the counselors are there for, but you know, I think it's different with us, because for me, my own journey on its own, you know, it's because I was that kid like for real. And so to be in this space now, it's just it's just a beautiful thing. It's a blessing to me, because now I could help people. I feel like I could help save a life, or just even like, you know, push them along, to give them a little bit of direction and a pathway for them, so that, you know, they have more options, positive pathways.
Absolutely. And I just want to point this out, because you mentioned it earlier. You don't legitimately need that paper to prove.
Degree.
Because
I always think that it's important, because I went and got all my quals. I got my diploma and all this in education, and that was just to prove to people, because they'd be like, hey, who are you? Just came out of the hood, and the next minute she was in the, you know, why was she slanging? She's slanging there, and next minute she'd be out here telling you. I was like, hey.
right.
So I was saying, you know, from someone who used to be a slang on the streets, to being now, you know, working with youth, it's like, hey, but it's like, hey, we're just keeping it real, you know, not trying to sugarcoat anything. And that's the beauty of us being different from those with the papers and the certificates, because we actually have the experience, and we know how to navigate through those situations. And so for me, I know there's so many of my friends, people I've met who are in jail, they've come out and they've now youth workers. And so that's a blessing when people have that passion, because people used to ask me, how do you do it, Shir'le? People that started their own youth programs are like, man, it's hard. They thought they could just get into it because it looks cool, they get funding. There's a lot of people that got the funding, but me, I never really knew how to do that. I was just doing things from the heart, because, you know, I really care about the kids, and I didn't know how to apply for funding. But you got these people who already know how to do it, and they just got all this money, and they're like, man, we want to be youth workers, and they're like struggling hard out, because they're like, man, it's hard. I was like, it's not something that you just wake up and like, oh, I can do that too.
Exactly.
It's hard, man. I'm telling you.
Man.
I didn't even know how sometimes I always think, why did I choose this path? Because sometimes, man, the situations that you deal with the youth, oh man, it's like stressful, man.
Yeah,
it's stressful. But you got to have a lot of patience. And thank God I'm a mom and I've got teenagers. I've got a daughter who's married now. And so dealing with her helped a lot.
No, absolutely.
And I love my kids. But man, I'm telling you, as teens today is something else. But yeah, we love them.
No, absolutely. And you hit the topic right on the nail, because then I come back to I legitimately come back to heroes such as Alan Va'a, Alan
rest
Va'a,
in peace.
Alan Va'a, Sully,
Yes.
who
Matua Salipaia.
they just basically do not care what background you come from. They're like, listen, yeah, you can give me all this smoke, but I'm gonna blow through it and see the brighter person that you are, and become the better person. Like you look at those stories and you're like, man, those guys didn't have degrees. They didn't have they have the connection of the youth, and they know how to. They went ground roots, like literally digging from the ground to get them youngins to see what potential they are, and it's branched so many things out from this, and you're one of them. So.
Yes, well, I do want to give credit to Salipaia, because there was a time where I was, for real, me and my kids were homeless, and we moved in with him at his cross powers in one of those hangars that he had.
Yeah.
I know I don't really talk about this part, but I just wanted to put it out there, because Salipaia was he was somebody that I looked up to for youth development, because he was one of those early intervention. He used to do those programs here in Ōtara, and so for me to move in with him and for him to take me and my family in when my kids were only babies, that really, really helped me, because just to see what he does, because we're always invited to their dance events, obviously, and we also printed t-shirts for him, so we did some work for him. So it was a really beautiful time, because I saw a whole nother life, a whole nother world where I was inspired. And so big love, always love for Matua Salipaia. And when I hosted the first 274 day here, was it 2 years ago? We hosted that, and I invited him to come and be a guest. And so he got up and he spoke, and we gave him a gift just to thank him for all the work that he did in the community. And it was just a beautiful time, beautiful human being. And I always got mad love for him. And I love what he's doing now with his carvings.
Yep.
I mean, man, he's just like the innovative king.
Oh, absolutely.
Never ending. And I know he's been on this pod as well, so... Yep. It's beautiful, and I love that. You mention him, because that's someone that's very dear to my heart, and I owe a lot to him.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I owe a lot to him as well, because just watching him from the sidelines, just watching this elderly gentleman be the most youngest 20-year-old who's powering through with his carvings and doing his own merch, by the way. And I saw his t-shirt and his necklace and his little wakas that he sell on Facebook, and I'm like, damn, let me get in that hustle, man.
Get it.
I know, right? Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's what I love about our people, we're just never ending. The innovation is real.
Yeah.
The creativity is amazing, and that's what we got to do, and that's why we do what we do, is because we want to keep that going. We want to keep that alive, because the next generation, man, imagine what they're coming up with.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're here, and we just have to pass it on to the next.
Nah, absolutely. Just to come up to wrapping up things, I got a couple more questions, and we'll wrap it up from there. With Queen Shir'le's Academy is bursting with life, and just with a lot of innovation and creativity is coming through their doors. What is it that you want to envision your beautiful, beautiful kids of the Academy, and what do you see for them in the near future?
I love that question. Well, like I said, the key was to pathway them back into education, back to further education, or, even though, somebody once asked me, is education the key? And I said, well, for me, I finished school early, at a young age. And I was, I tell the kids that story. I left school at a very young age, and I had no choice. So I lost a lot. For many years I didn't know how to spell and all sorts of stuff. And so I had to go back and relearn a lot of things. I had to go back. And even though I say you don't need a qualification to do something, but I also feel like it's important for us to keep learning. even if it is just doing these little workshops or even learning from the internet, just keep learning, be a student, because I'm a student for life. And next year, as a matter of fact, I'm going back to do my master's next year in creative innovation. So to me, it's like I did it this year, but then I said to my tutor, oh man, I'm getting so much work this year. I need to push it for next year. So my tutor's like, okay, I'll give you one more last chance.
No.
But it's only because I am just a learner of life, and I just want to keep evolving. And I think that upskilling there's nothing wrong with upskilling. I think it's the most important thing that we could do as educators. You know, even myself, I need my own counselor, I need my own therapist to help me through, even though we become the therapist, but, you know, we also need it too.
Yeah.
And so for my thing is that I've always wanted to open up our own school. This is something I've spoken to about many years ago. But because we're kind of like a mobile school, it's working really well. And what I'm finding is that we might be quite unique to other, academies is that the collaboration. For me, it's the collaboration that's working, being able to work with Auckland Council, the libraries, working with OMAC and, you know, Te Oro. To us, it was like, it's about that. For me, that's what I love. The collaboration, it just makes my job a little bit more fun, a lot more meaningful, and we're bringing so many more kids coming in, and like we're able to help more people because we're doing it together.
Yeah.
So I've always believed in this collaboration thing, but the dream is to open up our own school, and that way we could just focus on, you know, getting a performing arts school back up and running, and hopefully get some qualifications for our kids so that they could go on and become great, because that's what we want. We want them to go out and be the baddest rapper, singer, you know, performing artist, actor, and we want to see them winning, and there is room for everyone to shine. So I want to make sure that we help them get to where they need to get. And so, yeah, I think it's such a beautiful thing. And as right now, we've actually got some events that we've also been collaborating on. So we've got a show this Friday at Ōtāhuhu. I don't know if this podcast will come out by then, but we've got the Ōtāhuhu Carnival Festival. Shout outs to Rochelle and also Caroline, who are the Ōtāhuhu Business Association. So they've asked me to come and MC, as you know, do what I love. So I jump on stage. But I've also got some artists who have come through my program here at OMAC. Our program is called Bring the Noise, which is it's our music program that we host every year during New Zealand Music Month. So we've got artists from that program who are performing their own original songs. They're also learning how to be MCs, and we're also hosting the whole stage. So now we're doing events management. So it's amazing because we just did one not long ago in Mangere Town Centre. We hosted our first event, which was called Mangere Arts in the Town Centre, and that was a collaboration with the Mangere Business Association, Vicky, cool. and the bro there. So it was really, really beautiful. Everything was amazing. And so from that, we evolved, and now we've got the Ōtāhuhu one. So shout outs to Mangere Ōtāhuhu Arts and the local board who've supported us, and now we could go and put on another show. So that one's next week. So it's called the Ōtāhuhu Arts in the Square. So we're going to be hosting our kids market, a couple of stores there for our kids entrepreneurs, and we've got our stage. So our Queen Shir'le Academy are hosting the stage, and we've got some my friends in the music industry, Kaz the Feel Style, the orator, the legend. He's going to be there. We've got Milo, who's an award-winning singer. We've got Asam, who's an amazing singer, rapper as well from Tauranga. She's killing it out there. And obviously Emmy, the Sivafi Queen. She's like our young champion who just won with her group in Tahiti recently for the Sivafi.
Nice.
So she's coming through. She was one of our first podcast student that I had. She started with me at Beta Intermediate when I first started my podcast class there, and she was so shy. She was like so shy. Now she be doing interviews after interviews. I mean, she's killing it out there, and she's winning, and I'm just so proud of her. So she's coming through to do her Sivafi, and we've also got award-winning Jaya, who sings at Christmas in the Park every year. She's an amazing, like young, she won the kids award with Lavina Williams. So they wrote a song for her, and it was beautiful. So we've got these amazing artists who believe in what we do, and we're all just doing it together, and we're doing it because we love our communities, and we want to just let people know. And they've got a Santa Grotto as well. So there's a big Santa Grotto where you can go and take photos with Santa, and you get your presents packaged up and stuff like that. So it's going to be amazing. So that's next Thursday in Otahuhu Criterion Square. Where McDonald's is,
Yep.
next to the bank. There's a little area, used to be a little mountain. They've taken that away, so now there's a lot more space there.
That's cool.
So we're going to be there, parked up there from 11 till 3. And we've got one of the baddest DJs, DJ Reminisce, is going to be there. So we managed to get him on board, and I'm so excited because I haven't seen the bro in ages. So he's been killing it around the world, him and his son. His son's been winning the DJ champ. Oh, my goodness. So, K-Swizz, yeah, amazing. So much is happening in my world. And I just released a song a couple of months ago. My new song was called Somebody New. Somebody New is still out there. The video's on YouTube as well. Shout outs to Shane Walker, who's featured in the video, and he also produced my song for me. And shout outs to the bro in Australia, the one of the baddest, Beats Low Key. He's an amazing beat maker, so he's like a G-Funk king beat maker. So he was able to create this beat for me. And so, yeah, it's an amazing journey. I don't know how I do it in between it all. And I'm a single mum. Still single mumming it. And, yeah, I love my kids. And, I don't know, but without my kids, man, I tell you, I'll go crazy. So that shout out to my son Mikey, who's been holding it down with his younger brother, or Mahonrai, because Mahonrai, he's autistic and that. So it's been really, really hard. It's a hard journey, but I've also learned a lot from him. He's like, oh man, he's just a really special kid, and I just love, being a mum. So yeah, shout outs to my kids for, putting up with me and like all the crazy ideas and that. But it's all good because there's blessings that come with it, And and also my next time I can come and talk about my spiritual journey, going back to the temple, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and that journey has been so beautiful. It's given me so much peace, with everything that I'm doing. We need that balance, and I always believe that we've also got to give back to the source, because without the source, we would be crazy. We wouldn't even know which way to go. And I feel like since then, my life is a lot more in control now, and I have a lot of peace, and I have a lot more purpose now where I can help a lot more people. And it's just a beautiful thing. Yeah.
No, awesome.
Yeah.
You basically taken my last question, which was plug yourself, but you pretty much done that. And just again, it's been an honor and a privilege just to have you across the seat, just to hear about your amazing journey, and just hearing about the lives that you touched in terms of just growth. And just want to bring you back into a certain scenario. So both of us were sitting in the car, and we had a really good heart-to-heart conversation. And I didn't really know where my career was going to go in terms of where I wanted to do, because I was kind of in a slump. And I just came out of just losing my dad about 2 years ago, and just having someone like Shir'le talking about what to do next. And now I've recovered from that and just going from strive to strive. I just want to thank you personally. I didn't get the chance to thank you because it was just such a short time that we had at the moment. And when we did the Matariki thing, it was like we didn't really get much content.
Yeah.
So again, I finally got it on camera, which is thank you so much for that conversation, because I had that moment. So thank you so much.
Oh, that means a lot. And I'm so proud of you. Like, even just hearing you now on the pod, it's just like, your voice is beautiful. Like, you've got an awesome story as well, and you've got the voice for it and the confidence, so don't ever doubt yourself, and just know that you could do so much more. And I always said that to you. You could do so much more.
Yeah,
you got so much potential.
I remember
but I love that you're still here. You're still helping and supporting this, because, man, we need this. We need someone that knows what they're doing. And and shout out to Corona in the building as well, our technician in the house. Man, amazing.
He's sitting in the corner doing all his things.
For real. Yeah, we got to give everyone their props, man, their flowers, because that's what it's about, everyone's doing their part. And also shout out to the sis Judy as well. Got to give it up to the sis, because I know, she's been around, she OG, she's been doing this thing for so long. She got me to MC and perform at her gig like maybe 20 something years ago, 20, 30 years ago. I can't even remember anymore. But that's how long I've known Judy. And, so, shout out to the sis, she's still grinding, and I'm still here. So, yeah, doing the great mahi that she does with all of you guys. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And again, thank you so much for coming in. And every time when you come onto the camera, you wow people, and you just
Oh, cut it out.
I have the most easiest job in the world because all I have to do is like look confident and ask questions. You made it bajillion times better by just sharing, and that's how.
And then we got to edit it, you know. For me, it's like, ooh, I cringe, man.
Oh no,
That's
no,
why I stopped doing this pod, man, because I'd be editing, and you know me, when I'm editing my own thing, half of the whole thing's gone. I was like, every little bit, no, that's got to go. There's been, hey, from 1 hour podcast to what, 10 minutes to 5 minute podcast. I'm like, hola.
It's fine. It's better than a podcast that I did months, years before, and all I got was I go, hi, how are you? Yep. What are your thoughts about your work with the youth? Good. That's it. That's all I got. So no, I would rather have a 30-minute podcast of you just talking and just get yep, and that's it.
Man, that's why I said, I might need to listen to it. I'll be like, hey.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Because the last one I seen online, I was like, oh man, I should have told you to cut that part out. And then I was like, nah, forget it. Because that's why a lot of people probably don't want me to come do interviews anymore. Because even on TV, I used to do so many interviews on that, TV show, breakfast and all that. And then I'll be like, email them after, oh, can you just cut that part out? They go, we can't, I had to go live. I said, no, I don't like it. There was one time they did one, when you see it on Instagram and that, and I see them tagging me in something, and then the next moment, untag. And then I'll message the creator, go, sorry, sis, but can you remove me from that thing? And they're like, no, sis, it looks amazing. No, sis, I just don't like the way I look. I'm like, so sorry. And then they're like, that, yeah, okay, I'll do it.
I'm going to say this right now. Let's quickly wrap this up. Thank you so much for coming. We can talk for hours, and no, we're not cutting anything. This is going to be as unedited, and just listen. I would rather, like I said, I would rather listen to amazing stories. Just you can please keep doing your amazing work, and just keep being amazing. And before we go into anything, thank you so much for watching. We're coming up to the Christmas break. Please, for those who are
for the sandwich.
Hey!
Shout outs.
Hey!
Shout outs for the sandwich, guys.
Absolutely. For those who are going into the Christmas break, please reach out for help. I know that it is hard times for those who are in need, and we are in rough years going into 26. So please, if you're going into some needs of food, look up My River, look up those, even Salvation Army. Please reach out to those who are, that will definitely help you out.
Beautiful.
So, anything else?
Big shout outs to my kids. I want to shout out to my granddaughter who turned 1 this year, Melissia. So I love being a grandma because I get to give their kids back. No, I get to hug and then bye. No, but and shout outs to every single young person, every adult, or anyone, any creative that's come through those doors. The Academy, the Queen Shir'le Academy, we are open to everybody, and I'm excited for what next year's got. We're waiting for that, and just the blessings and the opportunity that we have to work with everybody in the community. I can't wait for what's to come, and I just want to say thank you to Vinny and Accelerating Aotearoa for the opportunity to have this podcast here for the community here in Ōtara. So keep being amazing out there and have an amazing Christmas. Be safe, and just know you can holler at me anytime if you want to know more about our programs, or you want to collaborate. Any sponsors want to make a donation, please get to me on Queen Shir'le Academy at gmail.com, or you can just find me on Instagram or Facebook. But that's me. Peace and love.
Awesome. And with that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.